There's going to be more information on newminds.tv/Earth Day 2020. Now that we have the cardboard challenge announcement out of the way and you go ahead and check it out, let's go ahead and get started on today's STEAM train. So this week we are doing recycling as our theme because Earth Day is this week. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to look at the 3 R's of recycling. Today we're going to use reusing. If you haven't heard the 3 R's of recycling before, we have reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reusing is what we're going to look at today. You're probably wondering what could be reused. What is reusing? So we have a couple things in our box today to help illustrate what this is. We also have Gert. He's been sitting here. We're bringing him back out. This is Gert. We made him on another day if you missed it. And if you did miss him, check out newminds.tv. You'll see the day that we made Gert. I have a couple things. I'm just going to bring them all out so I can show you what reusing will look like. Almost there. So I have all sorts of random stuff on the table, but I'll go through and explain each one at a time. So reusing is using something that instead of using it one time and getting rid of it, it's something that gets used over and over again. Sometimes this is intentional and sometimes it's not. But finding ways to use more reusable things in your daily life will make things more efficient, better for the environment, and it'll be great. One example of it being intentional is my water bottle. It is a metal water bottle. I fill it up and put ice in it. It keeps everything cold for me. But because I use this, I don't have to use any plastic water bottles. So every time I'm using this, I'm saving 3 or 4 water bottles that would be thrown away. So this is one way you can reuse, and you can keep things going in a way that is sustainable. I can use this forever. I might need to get a new one eventually. It is kind of dented, but it will hold up for much longer than a plastic water bottle. Another thing of reuse is finding a new use for something that wasn't meant to be there. I had this piece of plastic just from a robot I took out of the box. This plastic doesn't fit in the box anymore when the robot's put together, so I don't really have a use for this. But I was thinking, and it does kind of have a unique shape. It's got an arch in the middle, and these almost look like windows. So maybe I'm having some super awesome Lego racetrack, and I need a building to fill in some space. This could be a building in the background, and I can have my racetrack across the floor, and I can have this banana man staying in front of the building. Or if I turn it another way, it has raised edges. Maybe this is a fort for our banana man. He can hide behind here. You can barely see him. He can lay down, and now he's completely gone. And I can reuse this piece of plastic, maybe cut some pieces out, change the shape, or even turn it the other way to make something new. Maybe since this is a small indented area, I could use this as, this is almost like their training room where they practice all their moves in this little hole. So all of this is just from a piece of plastic that would have otherwise been thrown away. Another way to reuse is just using things that, instead of throwing them away, use them for a new purpose. Another example is this. We get these big tins of pretzels and they're really good. I love them so much. But we get this big plastic container that is full of salt. We have to clean it out. But we have to find ways to reuse them so we don't just throw them away. So what we do is we put all of our coin holders in here. This actually goes behind the camera, but it is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and put this back. Another example of reuse is using some creativity and turning it into something new. Gert, right here, he looks like this super awesome silly monster, but he's just a tissue box. He was originally a tissue box, that's all he was. We used old supplies, we didn't use new paper, we used our scrap paper, we turned it into something new. Another thing is that our family doesn't really drink soda that often, it's very rare. But when we do, we usually try and get the metal or the glass versions because it's better. You don't have to. You can recycle these much easier than you can plastic. This is another way that things are reused. You could reuse this bottle. You could use it as a vase. You could use it for all sorts of different things. We use these as decoration because they say cool things on them. But that's what these are here for. The last way is you make something that's meant to be reused as a replacement. Whenever I get a lot of different sets of dice, because I love doing the Dungeonverse program that Mr. Adam puts on. And the cool thing is that when I go in here, this is a bag that is put together for some cloth. It's just sewn together on one side. It's really simple to make, and it just has a little string that keeps it closed. But when I pour things out, I have all of my dice in here. It's better than using a plastic bag or something that's going to end up in a landfill eventually. This bag, I can reuse it for all sorts of different things. I just put my dice in here, but you can use it for pretty much anything. Coins, dice, your pencils, your erasers, your favorite small toys, your favorite Lego men. You can put all of those in this reusable bag. So here is today's challenge. And also every Earth Day week, we are going to have a bonus thing for you to try and do to be better. So our challenge today is to take 3 random objects and find out as many new uses for them as you can. I have my 3 objects here. I have a toilet paper roll, I have this scrap piece of fabric, and I have this candle holder. It's a candle holder and the wax kind of drips around, but I'm just going to talk about the holder. I'm going to get a pencil and something to write on. I'm actually going to use these small papers just to save space. Don't use a whole big paper to write about recycling. That's kind of against the point. I'm just going to use these tiny papers to write on because they're very small. So what you need to do is use some creativity and look at this object and figure out what you're going to make it into. I think the first one I'm going to start with is this cloth. I know one way I can reuse it is it's felt, so it kind of sticks to clothes. So I can use it as like a badge. Put it on. This is now my badge. Maybe it's a decoration, like it's a shoulder pad. And I can put it on. Because it's felt, it's going to stay on and stick with me. So one thing you can look at is what the material is made out of. I know that this shape also looks like dough for a croissant. So if I have a fake restaurant, I can roll it up like I would a croissant. Roll the big end first, go towards the small end, and then hit it with a twist. And now I have this mini croissant that I can use for my fake restaurant. Now this has another use, and because it's felt, it sticks to itself. So I have a croissant now. So I can have my fake bakery that I'm playing with, be like, oh yes, here's my croissant. Instead of making the food out of paper and reusing it over and over again and having to eventually throw it away, this is felt. It could come apart, it could become a new shape. Maybe now it's a pizza crust, and I have red felt to put on top and maybe toppings. So this can turn into different food items for my fake restaurant. A third thing this can be is probably a more obvious one, but it could be a flag. Maybe I tape it or felt stick it around a pencil like this. Now I have a flag that I can use for my toy fort. I can use it for all sorts of different things, and this has been reused in 3 different ways. So my challenge is find an object of your own that might be kind of hard to reuse and find 3 ways to reuse it, or use one of these 2 on the table. My challenge ones are a toilet paper tube. What different things can this be? Maybe a telescope, maybe some sort of support pillar. We actually use them to build forts for our pet hamster. Or maybe the extra challenge is this candle holder. Because I'm not sure what I could reuse it for besides the candle holder. That's actually what I use it as. That's why I had a candle in it. But it's got a little hole in it. It's got a big rim. And on the bottom, it's actually hollow. So there could be a creative solution of what this can be. And I haven't figured it out yet. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with and how you eventually turn all of these into a way to reuse. That is all I have for you guys today. Don't forget to check out Earth Day on the Cardboard Challenge on newminds.tv/Earth Day 2020. It's going to be super awesome. And on Wednesday, I'm actually going to do an hour-long episode where I go through and I complete the cardboard challenge with you guys. So as you're making it and you're not quite sure what to do, don't worry. Everyone on New Minds TV will be working with you. We'll be doing our own versions of the challenge to give you ideas and inspiration. Thank you for tuning in to another real inspired learning with New Minds. Keep practicing your passions until it becomes your talents. And don't forget to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.